Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. We love taking these deep dives into the world of investments.
Absolutely.
And today, we've got kind of an interesting one, I think.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at Catalyst Pharmaceuticals,
Okay.
and we're going to be looking at them through the lens of a value investor.
Interesting.
So think, the classic Warren Buffett,
Yeah.
and we're going to kind of see, if this company aligns with some of his famous investing principles.
Awesome. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, me too. And, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future deep dives because we've got some really exciting companies lined up.
For sure.
All right, so let's jump right in.
Okay.
Catalyst Pharmaceuticals. What's interesting about them is they're not, your typical big pharma giant.
Right.
They've kind of carved out this niche in the rare disease market.
Interesting.
So they're developing treatments for conditions that most people haven't even heard of.
That's right. And that rare disease market is experiencing some explosive growth.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about a market that was worth nearly $120 billion in 2021.
Wow.
And it's projected to reach a staggering $336 billion by 2030.
That's huge.
It's definitely a space to watch, and Catalyst is right in the thick of it.
So that already kind of, starts to align with what Warren Buffett looks for, right? A company that's operating in a market that is expanding.
Rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got a company in a booming market.
Right.
But what do they actually do?
So their flagship product is FIRDAPSE, and this is key. It's currently the only approved treatment for a muscle weakness disorder called Lambert-Eaton myasthenic syndrome, or LEMS for short.
LEMS, okay, so they've got a very unique product in a growing market. Sounds pretty promising.
Yeah.
But are they a one-trick pony?
Not at all. Catalyst has been strategically expanding their portfolio.
Okay.
They acquired Fycompa, which is a treatment for epilepsy, and Agamree for Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
Oh. So these acquisitions are already contributing to their revenue stream and provide some nice diversification beyond FIRDAPSE.
And speaking of revenue, FIRDAPSE brought in a cool $79.3 million in 2024.
Wow.
Almost a 20% jump from the previous year.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the kind of growth that gets investors excited.
Absolutely. And that's consistent growth in earnings is another hallmark of companies that attract Warren Buffett.
Yeah, he likes to see that track record.
He likes to see profitability, and Catalyst seems to be delivering on that front.
So we've got a company in a growing market. They've got this unique product.
Right.
But what's to stop other companies from just jumping into this rare disease market?
Yeah, that's a great question.
And trying to, grab a piece of the pie.
So this is where Catalyst's competitive advantage really comes into play.
Okay.
They have a strong portfolio of patents and exclusivity agreements, particularly for FIRDAPSE.
Interesting.
In fact, they recently won a major patent battle against Teva Pharmaceuticals.
Oh, wow.
Which is a major player in the generic drug market.
So no generic competition.
No generic FIRDAPSE until at least 2035.
That is huge. Talk about a moat around their business.
The big moat.
It's a big moat, and that also aligns perfectly with what Warren Buffett looks for, right?
Absolutely.
That durable competitive advantage that can withstand, the test of time.
Exactly. This patent victory gives Catalyst a long runway to solidify their market position and continue generating those strong profits.
It's a big win for Catalyst,
right?
And it also speaks to the strength of their leadership.
Yeah.
So who are the brains behind this operation?
Well, the company was co-founded by Patrick McGanany, who served as CEO for over 20 years.
Wow.
He's a giant in the pharmaceutical industry. He even received the BioFlorida Lifetime Achievement Award in 2023.
Oh, wow.
And while he stepped down as CEO at the end of 2023, he's still the chairman of the board.
Okay, so he's still involved.
He's still there.
That's quite a journey, and,
Yeah.
makes you wonder, what are some of his insights for navigating the company all those years?
Right.
Now, the new CEO, Richard Daly, also brings a lot of experience from the pharmaceutical world.
Tons of experience.
Seems like they've got a pretty solid leadership team in place.
For sure.
But, let's talk about what really matters to investors.
Yeah.
The money, or do they financially fit?
Their financials are impressive. Catalyst's revenue more than doubled in 2024, reaching a whopping $398.2 million.
Wow.
And their profitability score, a measure of their financial efficiency, is an outstanding 81 out of 100.
That's amazing.
Think of this score as a financial health check. The higher the number, the better shape they're in.
So they're in great shape.
They're in great shape.
And before we get too deep into the financials, I want to quickly remind everyone watching
Yeah.
that we love hearing your stock picks too.
Yes.
So head over to our YouTube channel and let us know what you're thinking.
Let us know.
You can also find links to all the sources we're using for this deep dive in the episode description.
Yep.
Now, getting back to Catalyst's financial health.
Okay.
They have a very clean balance sheet with low debt.
Good.
So they're not weighed down by, all these risky loans, and they've got a pretty sizable cash reserve to fuel future investments.
That's great.
This strong financial position would definitely catch Warren Buffett's eye.
Oh, yeah.
He's known for, favoring companies with strong fundamentals and a prudent approach to finances.
Absolutely.
So it seems like we've got a company in a rapidly growing market.
Right.
They've got a unique product, strong patent protection.
Yes.
Their financials are stellar.
Very good.
They have a seasoned leadership team.
It's all coming together.
Are they checking all of Warren Buffett's boxes?
Let's break it down point by point, starting with their competitive advantage, those patents and exclusivity agreements we talked about.
Okay.
This is where Catalyst really shines. That strong patent protection, acts as a moat,
Right.
a term Buffett often uses.
Yeah.
It effectively shields Catalyst from competition.
Right.
It gives them a significant advantage, allowing them to command, premium pricing for FIRDAPSE
Right.
and generate those impressive profits that we were just talking about.
Yeah, that long runway till 2035.
Yeah.
That's a huge plus.
Yes.
It gives them time to further innovate,
Right.
expand into new markets, maybe even develop a successor to FIRDAPSEs, before that patent expires.
Right.
It's like having a safety net while you're working on the next big thing.
Exactly. And that ties into another key element of Buffett's philosophy.
Okay.
Investing in companies that have a long-term vision.
Yeah.
Catalyst isn't just focused on short-term gains. They're playing the long game, building a sustainable business for the future.
So they've got that, competitive advantage covered.
Yeah.
What about consistent earnings?
Yeah.
Another factor that's important to Buffett.
Well, their track record speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Their revenue more than doubled last year.
Right.
And they've consistently grown earnings over the past several years.
That's good.
This kind of consistent performance is a strong indicator of a well-managed company with a solid business model.
So 2 boxes checked. Strong competitive advantage, consistent earnings. What about competent management?
Right.
Buffett always stresses the importance of a strong leadership team.
And Catalyst doesn't disappoint in that department either.
Yeah.
We talked about Patrick Buchanan, the co-founder,
Right.
led the company for over 2 decades, building an incredible legacy.
Right.
And now Richard Daley, with his extensive industry experience, is at the helm.
Yeah.
They've got a deep bench of talent guiding the ship.
It seems like they're, shaping up to be a classic Buffett stock.
It seems like it.
But even the most promising companies face potential risks.
Right.
What are some of the challenges or vulnerabilities that investors should be aware of
Yeah.
when considering Catalyst Pharmaceuticals?
You're right. No investment is completely risk-free.
Yeah.
In Catalyst's case, one of the biggest risks is their reliance on FIRDAPSE
Okay.
for a significant portion of their revenue.
Right.
What happens when that patent expires in 2035?
That's a valid concern.
Right. It's like having all your eggs in one basket,
Exactly.
even if it is a strong basket with a long patent life.
Yeah, they're certainly aware of this risk.
Okay.
And they've been actively diversifying their product portfolio through acquisitions,
Right.
like Fycompa and Agamree.
Right.
However, it remains to be seen if these products can fully compensate for the potential revenue loss
Right.
when FIRDAPSE faces generic competition.
So diversification is key.
Yeah.
What other risks should be on investors' radar?
Well, competition is always a factor in the pharmaceutical industry.
Sure.
Other companies are constantly developing new treatments, and some of them could target the same rare diseases
Right.
that Catalyst focuses on.
Makes sense.
They need to stay ahead of the curve and continue to innovate
Yeah.
to maintain their competitive edge.
That makes sense. The race for new therapies is always heating up.
Always.
What about the regulatory environment?
Yeah.
Could that pose a risk?
Absolutely. The pharmaceutical industry is heavily regulated.
Any changes in healthcare policies or pricing pressures could impact their profitability.
Yeah.
For example, government regulations could limit pricing flexibility for FIRDAPSE, or new regulations
Right.
could increase the cost of bringing new drugs to market.
Yeah, that's true. Those regulatory changes can be a wild card.
For sure.
Are there any other potential red flags investors should be aware of?
Well, safety concerns are inherent in any drug development.
Yeah.
If any serious adverse events are linked to their products, it could damage their reputation.
Right.
and lead to costly litigation. This is a risk that's always present in the pharmaceutical industry.
Okay, so we've got a few potential bumps on the road. Reliance on FIRDAPSE,
Yep.
competition regulatory changes, safety concerns.
Right.
But are these risks enough to scare off a savvy investor like Warren Buffett?
That's where we need to weigh the risks against the potential rewards.
Yeah.
Yes, these risks are real, but Catalyst also has a lot going for it.
Okay.
Their strong financial position, their consistent growth, their experienced leadership team,
Right.
and their commitment to innovation
Yeah.
all point to a company that's well-positioned to navigate these challenges.
And remember, their Altman Z-score,
Right.
a measure of financial health
Yeah.
that assesses the likelihood of bankruptcy, is very positive.
That's a good sign.
It indicates they're unlikely to face any solvency issues in the foreseeable future.
That's great.
So even with those risks, they seem to be in a pretty strong position financially.
Precisely. They have a solid financial foundation and a strong track record of navigating the complexities of the pharmaceutical industry.
So if we put on our Warren Buffett hats
Okay.
and look at Catalyst Pharmaceuticals objectively,
Yeah.
what's the verdict? Is this a company that he would consider adding to his portfolio?
Well, Buffett emphasizes understanding the business.
Right.
Strong fundamentals, a competitive advantage, and a fair price. Catalyst seems to meet most, if not all, of those criteria. They operate in a growing market, have a unique product with strong patent protection, and their financials are healthy.
But that looming patent expiration on FIRDAPSE is still a big question mark.
It is, but Catalyst is actively taking steps to address that challenge. They're diversifying, they're innovating, and they're investing in their future.
It seems like Catalyst Pharmaceuticals is a company worth keeping a close eye on.
I think so.
They have a lot of potential, but investors need to monitor how they handle those challenges ahead.
Yeah,
Particularly the patent cliff for FIRDAPSE in 2035.
absolutely. It'll be interesting to see how they continue to evolve in this dynamic and rapidly growing rare disease market.
Yeah.
They've demonstrated a keen ability to adapt and innovate so far, which is a promising sign for their long-term prospects.
And remember, everyone, this deep dive is for informational purposes only
Yes.
and not financial advice. Always do your own research and talk to a qualified advisor before making any investment decisions.
Now, what's particularly fascinating about Catalyst Pharmaceuticals is that they operate in this booming rare disease market.
Right.
This raises an important question. What other companies are out there working in this space that might be worth investigating?
That's a great question to ponder.
Yeah.
The world of rare disease treatments is filled with fascinating companies.
It is.
And groundbreaking innovations.
For sure.
And speaking of fascinating face, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
And hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future deep dives.
Absolutely.
We're always on the lookout for intriguing companies to analyze and exciting stories to share. It's like a whole hidden world of investment opportunities, right?
It really is, and the potential for growth in this market is enormous, as we discussed. It's projected to nearly triple in size over the next few years.
Yeah.
That kind of growth is hard to ignore.
Definitely. So for all of you deep divers out there, I encourage you to explore this space further. Do your own research. Look for companies that are developing innovative treatments.
Yeah.
And remember those key principles we talked about today,
Right.
especially those inspired by Warren Buffett.
Those principles of understanding the business, looking for strong fundamentals, a competitive advantage, and a fair price, those are timeless principles.
Yeah.
They can guide you in any investment decision.
Exactly. And remember, this deep dive was just a starting point.
Right.
There's always more to learn, more to explore. Don't just take our word for it.
Exactly.
Dig into those sources we've provided in the episode description. Form your own conclusions.
Yep.
And remember, never invest in something you don't understand.
That's right. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to investing.
Yeah.
The more you know, the better equipped you are to make informed decisions.
And speaking of knowledge, make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future deep dives. We've got plenty more fascinating companies and investment strategies to explore together.
Until then, happy investing, everyone.
And remember, this deep dive was for informational purposes only and not financial advice. Always do your own research and talk to a qualified advisor before making any investment decisions.